I think we got him next turn. Like I said, we have 40 damage in the air, and these do all have trample, and we can bounce this one. Yes. Man, that got so close. And yeah, that one turn, I bungled it so hard, guys. I think you can auto-stack the triggers where you deal 4 damage to everything on board first, and we had 3 of them entering. So we were dealing 12 damage to the board, and then we should have the Overlords enter. So yeah, we kind of messed that up, but we have enough to hit them with the River's Rebuke, which is 6 mana. And then we have enough to play this River Regent, so we can bounce 2 things. Not that we want to do that, but... well, wait, did I just mess it up now as well? We can station and station. That's 30 damage. Nah, yeah, we got him. Look, because, yeah, we stationed this one. We station this River Regent. We play this one out. We can go ahead and bounce these 2 back to our hand, so he doesn't have any hasty creatures. And then we can station this one up, and that is a fat 40 damage. Let's absolutely go. That was a good game. Now we want more creatures because he is going wide, but we're also going to go wide. So 3 copies of you, you, and you. Yeah, so thanks for your creatures, buddy. I do appreciate it. We can get down another Llanowar Elf. And then, yeah, I will put a counter on you. I'll put a counter on you. And I'll put a counter on you. Ooh, you absolutely love to see it. GG, my friend. I don't see how you come back from that. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll just do this for 2, because that's all we can do it for. And we'll make 2 copies of this battleship and 2 copies of this battleship. We'll go ahead and gain 2 life, so we're up to 24. How about you lose all your creatures? And I've heard that you need lands to be able to play a game of Magic, so I don't think this guy is too happy. But yeah, pop, 1 land gone, creatures gone, another land gone, another one, another one,
another one.
And we can get a little elf down. And then next turn, we will have this guy fully crewed up. He just has a crew cost of 5, which really isn't that much, so... yeah, don't think the opponent can kill our elf with just 1 mana. Let's actually see. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to another MTG Arena Standard video. Today we have a really fun one. It's basically a mono green deck, but we're splashing in a little tiny bit of blue for River's Rebuke and the Marang River Regent. Marang River Regent can be a closer for us, but what I'm really trying to do today is do some nice land destruction. That's probably my favorite thing to do in Arena. In Standard, there's really not much land destruction, but Extinguisher Battleship for 8 mana, this spacecraft enters and you destroy target non-creature permanent. So you can destroy a artifact, enchantment, planeswalker, or a land, and that's probably what we'll be destroying today. And then the spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature on board, so it's a little bit of a board wipe right there. Of course, if the opponent has a really big creature, then it might survive 4 damage, but yeah, kind of like a board wipe, and you get to destroy a land. Kind of the only problem with it, though, is 8 mana is quite a bit. That is a lot of mana, so we need ways to ramp. So Overlord of the Hauntwoods, he's in the 5 mana slot, but we can put him in the 3 mana slot. So yeah, Hedron Archive for 4 mana. You can tap it to add 2 mana. Overlord of the Hauntwoods, create the Everywhere land token, so a little bit of ramp right there. Ancient Cornucopia, a little bit of ramp, and whenever we cast a spell, we gain basically 1 life. You gain life for however many colors are in that spell, and all of our spells are just monocolored. So another little bit of ramp right there, and you guys can see we're playing with Doppelgang. We need a lot of mana to pump into the triple X cost, and while this is a little tiny bit of mana ramp, it's not a ton. So you might be asking yourself, well, where does the rest of the mana ramp come in? And that is with this new card from the Spider-Man set. It's called Cheering Crowd. For 2 mana, this human citizen enters. He's a 2/2. And at the beginning of each player's first main phase, they can choose to put a counter on this creature. And if they do, then they get to add colorless mana for each counter on it. So when it comes in, if the opponent does choose to put a counter on this creature, it will go up to a 3/3, and they will get 1 extra mana to spend for turn. And then when it goes into our turn, of course, we are choosing to put a counter on it, and then we'll be able to generate 2 mana. Then when it goes into the opponent's turn, Maybe they choose to put another counter on it and they'll have 3 mana, and then when it goes into our turn again, then we can put a counter on it, and that is 4 extra mana generated right there, which we can use to pump into the Doppelgang triple X cost or into Extinguisher Battleship. So yeah, that is how we are going to ramp kind of like crazy into Extinguisher Battleship, and maybe go with a Doppelgang for 2, maybe 3 on our Extinguisher Battleship, so then we can destroy 2 or 3 extra lands as well. Trust me, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun, so buckle up and let's just get into it. All right, guys, opponent goes first. This is way too expensive of a hand, so that is a easy mulligan. This one we can keep. This is green or blue, so I think we ship that one back. We can get down the cheering crowd, and let's maybe hope he survives. So that guy's coming down on turn 2. Then we get the Hedron Archive. So a lot of nice ramp right there. Slumbering Cerberus looking to deal quite a bit of damage. Opponent could choose to put a counter on this creature, and then they get some mana, and then they could remove this creature right away. That would be really sad. That would be really sad. Could also just choose to decline. He's like, nah, I don't want to put a counter on this creature. He does. So 3 mana for the opponent. Of course, they could play a land for turn, so then that's 4 mana to work with. Ooh, but it does come in tapped. Scry 1. Keeps it on top, so he likes what he sees. Please don't remove our creature. No, he didn't. So we're going to have quite a bit of mana to work with. 4 damage is quite a bit of damage to take, but for sure we'll take action. We'll get down the Hedron Archive. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess we do it. We do have a lot of Marang River Regents, and then no attacks for us. That creature doesn't untap. Is the opponent taking 3 extra mana to work with? They are, so 6 mana for the opponent. We can go ahead and bounce 2 creatures next turn. Well, that one comes in tap, so it's still 6 mana to work with for the opponent. I don't think he's really playing with a super expensive deck. Looks honestly like budget mono red so far. But he does have some black. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. So he does have a lot of creatures on board. It gains +1 and menace. Yikes, that's pretty good for the opponent. So we're down to 12. Another cheering crowd. I don't think we need that creature. Let's see. If we draw, still have 4 mana to work with then. We didn't hit a land for turn. Honestly, I think we'll just get down the River Regent. Whenever you attack, I think we'll bounce that one. Wait, let's cancel. Let's see. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature, draw a card. Yeah, we'll bounce that one. And I guess we'll bounce that creature. And then we can look to draw a bunch of cards on the opponent's turn. I think I will go ahead, smack him for 6. That is quite a bit of damage. That creature doesn't untap. Opponent, if he does choose to put a counter, will have a ton of mana to work with. So 9. If he hits a land drop, that's 10 mana to work with. So he can probably deploy his entire hand. That creature needs to attack, though, to sacrifice. Whenever you attack, target creature gains +1. So, again, you can give that creature +1. 4 mana to work with still. A raid when this creature enters. If you attack this turn, I think that raid triggers regardless. It says if you attack this turn, he is going to attack. So we're going to need to hope to hit the Extinguisher Battleship. Then we can wipe literally the entire board, and our 2 creatures will survive. So fingers crossed that we hit the Extinguisher Battleship. We don't. Drop off 1 card. It can definitely be the Elf. Missed the card again. Honestly, I'm just going to dig for it. All right, we did hit it. Drop off a card. I think we can get rid of the cheering crowd. Play a land for turn. And we have enough mana, so gonna go ahead and blow up this land, wipe the entire board. Our creatures live, and we can swing through for 2. So opponent's down to 1 HP in a dream. Do you guys think I mean, he can literally add 7 mana right now. 2 cards in hand, though. Do you think he can deal 8 damage to us? I'm not sure about that. Can he give it haste? And even if he can give it haste, that's not 8 damage. So, yeah, opponent with the Abrade. But yeah, we got there. So, cheering crowd. And there is the Doppelgang. Going to add 7 mana, I believe. So, we could have, I'm pretty sure we could have created at least 3 copies. That's 9. Yeah, we could have created 3 copies of the Extinguisher Battleship and blow up 3 of his lands. So, yeah, GG. All right, guys, we got to go first. You know what? This hand is way too expensive, but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. Maybe if we can work our way up to 4, the Marang River Regent can draw us quite a bit. Hope we can find some interaction before. Opponent looking to do some graveyard shenanigans. But at least they might be a little bit slower. I mean, it does depend. They could reanimate like a Valgavoth or something crazy like that on turn 4. They could do that. Could even be turn 3. All right, nothing crazy. This one can destroy artifact or enchantment. This is an artifact, so that sucks. Hedron Archive is a nice draw, but I think next turn we just go with Marang River Regent. Could also maybe get the Hedron Archive down, but I have a feeling he would just play the Disruptive Storm Brood. What does that one say? When this creature enters. Yeah, so even if he reanimates it, he would be able to blow up our Hedron Archive. So maybe we do look to just draw with the River Regent. And yeah, opponent is looking to bring something back. He does have 4 mana, so he has Zombify. That I'm 95% sure about. He chooses to get this one down. He warps it out. Just gets Dredger's Insight. Those are some pretty good things in the graveyard, and it looks like he's a Roots deck, actually. It looks like he's a Roots deck, so we are going to need a ton of mana just to blow everything up. We will need a ton of mana to blow everything up. I'm going to put a +1 on that creature. I think that's something leaving the graveyard, so he gains some more life. Warps that one away. I would like to do the Hedron Archive, but I have a feeling it's going to get blown up if he does bring back the Disruptive Storm Brood. Let's hope it can stay on the battlefield for 1 turn. And that would be 7 mana. So then we could go with the Elf and the River Regent. 7 minus 2 is 5. Now, if we work our way up to 8 mana, we could copy the Hedron Archive, and that can produce quite a bit of mana for us for when we find a Doppelgang later down the line. Let's see. I think this would be an interesting game. Luckily, the Dredger's Insight doesn't drain us. River's Rebuke is actually an amazing draw. I think we just hit them with that right now. Just tell them, hey, how about you get everything back to your hand? We'll play the Elf for a little bit more ramp. And yeah, that does reset them quite a bit. That does reset them quite a bit. They might be happy redeploying some of these, though, but they don't have a ton of mana to work with. And then we actually could go with the Extinguisher Battleship next turn, blow up a land. Dredger's Insight just to mill. Opponent is down to 36 cards. Ketramos does have Indestructible, though, so that creature might be a little bit, yeah, impossible to deal with. And yeah, I am a little bit worried about that Disruptive Storm Brood. Probably gets down another Dredger's Insight, and then the Molt Tender. Might warp out a creature as well. Yeah, it is the Molt Tender and probably Dredger's Insight. Opponent does really need to get a Roots down because they are already halfway through their deck. Oh. Well. Yeah, right now we can only do this for 1, so it's not that useful. Extinguisher Battleship. Only does 4 damage, so the Overlord would still live. How much does the Disruptive Storm Brood have? That one is only 3. What did he discard? The Soul Cauldron. That's interesting. Honestly, I think what I'm going to do, we're going to go Catch and Coil. Discard a card. Have we played a land for turn? Yeah, we have. So we'll drop off the land. We'll get down Ancient Cornucopia for a little bit of ramp and another little elf for some ramp. I will go ahead and gain some life. And I'm not going to attack. We're going to say no attacks. End the turn. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We do have 11 mana now, -2. So we could do this for X equals 3. Could make 3 copies of the Hedron Archive, Ancient Cornucopia, and maybe some lands. Ketramos. It's going to put a counter on that one. Ooh, so Ketramos will be able to attack soon. That is a legendary creature, right? Yeah, so making copies of him, maybe not the most impactful. He has 1, 2 mana to work with because he can tap the Molt Tender. 3 mana to work with. Opponent is halfway through his library. Have we seen any removal? Not a lot, to be honest. We have seen the Roots, but he hasn't played that yet. I'm just so worried about the Disruptive Storm Brood. Destroy target non-land. He probably gets rid of our Hedron Archive. Gets rid of the Ancient Cornucopia. That's interesting. Mill 3 cards. You may discard. Overlord is also really nice. Oh, guys, as much as I want to get the Battleship down, I mean, that would get rid of our 2 elves as well, so then our Doppelgang gets a little bit worse. I think we'll get down Overlord first. Do get to create the token, and then we could make 1 copy of the Overlord. I think we hold for right now. We'll go ahead and say no attacks, end the turn. He's going to mill 3 cards, another Soul Cauldron, and another Roots. Opponent's down to 25 cards in library. We might be able to mill him out. He's probably going to attack with Ketramos, though. He's going to put a counter on him. Yeah, we might have to look to block this creature eventually. We have no cards in exile, so if we make a Wait, does this say all cards in exile? Ketramos, unless there are 7 more cards in exile. I think that is the creature. Oh, and he does find the Roots. We might have to blow that one up next turn. And a Overlord. Gets to return a non-land. I think we might have to pull the trigger on the Extinguisher Battleship, even though this creature is leaving. And he could just pull back a Root. And he did even find the Disruptive Storm Brood. Man, this creature right here is really, really annoying right now. He's probably going to blow up our Hedron Archive. 2, 4, 6, 7. And I mean, he can just pull it back with this, the Reclaimer as well. Opponent's playing a really interesting deck. I don't know how we navigate through this. I think he'll probably be able to get us. Which is unfortunate. He goes with the Overlord. That is to mill a few more cards. Another Ketramos. He is down to 15. These don't have haste, though. But can he tap them right away? Yeah, we would lose the Overlord, so unfortunately I think we take 6 damage right now, which is a ton. Opponent goes up to 27. Overlord ticks down. You draw a card and lose 1 life. So opponent is down to 14. I think we have to pull the trigger on the Extinguisher Battleship this turn. Another elf. That's really not what we need. Wait, we're going to undo that. I am going to attack with Overlord. Just to create the land token. And then we'll tap both these elves. Extinguisher Battleship. We're going to go ahead and blow up the Roots. What does this say? Target creature from your hand to... Oh, back to your hand. All right, and then we can play this elf, just so we have a blocker potentially. And then with this Battleship... Oh, I should not have tapped the Overlord, because then we could have stationed the Battleship right away. That's my bad. Then we would have at least had a 10-10. But yeah, opponent's probably going with the Disruptive Storm Brood. But if he does that, then we can at least destroy. 1, 2, 3. If he doesn't remove our Hedron Archive, we can make 3 copies of the Disruptive Storm Brood, blow up all of his enchantments, could make a few copies of the Overlord. So yeah, Ketramos having Indestructible kind of sucks for us. Opponent is down to just 13 cards in hand. Or sorry, in library. Return a creature or a land card. Yeah, it's the Reclaimer. Gain some life for that. X is the amount of mana spent. Yeah, he's bringing back Roots. Oh, this creature's pretty annoying that he's not ever really casting it. It's always back in the exile zone. Oh, and he's probably going to destroy our Overlord. Well, he does have just 1 mana to work with. Goes with the Molt Tender. We're down to 9. Opponent's 13 cards in library. Going to exile that. Lose some life. All right, we are going to do it like this. Hit them with the QQ and tap the elf. Oh, it's all this weird colors. Let's see, 6 plus 6 is 12. Minus 2 is 10, so we can do this for 3. So let's go ahead and make... No, did I do that for 2? We will make 3 copies of the Extinguisher Battleship. 3 copies of this Overlord. And 3 copies of this Overlord. I think... Oh, wait, but they're all going to die because the Extinguisher Battleship. Guys, I am such a dunce. I cannot believe it. Oh... I honestly can't believe it. And I mean, he has so much mana, it doesn't even really make sense to destroy all his lands. I can't believe how much of an idiot. I guess I could have, I think I could have stacked those triggers differently. So yeah, I am just a massive idiot. Well, we can bring the River Regent back. And we can bring another River Regent back. I think we're just milling our entire library, though. Oh, this was a massive fail by me. Now we're down to 19 cards. We can take another River Regent, and we can get 1 elf down. And then we could station it, not that that'll really do anything. 1, 6. I should have actually made a copy of the Hedron Archive. Yeah, I bungled that so hard with those triggers. But let's see, if we get down 1 River Regent next turn, we can at least bounce his Ketramos. Mill 3 cards. The opponent is down to 8. Yeah, destroy that one. Doesn't really do anything for you. Yeah, for sure we're going to bounce Ketramos. He gets an Overlord. That is going to mill him for 4 cards. So opponent's down to 5 cards in library. And yeah, for sure we're bouncing Ketramos. Ooh, these creatures also have flying, though. We need to remember that. Gain 1 life. Gain 1 life. Create the plant token. 10, 11. If we draw a land, then we can play 2 of these. We're down to 3. We need to draw a land. Yes. All right, we can get 2 of these down. So we will bounce Ketramos. And is there anything that mills him? The Roots is honestly a problem. So we'll get down a Root, or we'll get rid of a Root. And then we'll go with this one. And When this enchantment enters, mill 4 cards. Untap, you get mana. I'm not too worried about the plants. I think we'll remove these 2. Just because if he replays, he honestly can't really afford to replay them. And then we can tap down 1 of the River Regents. And we'll keep both these creatures back to block. No, let's cancel that. We're going to go ahead and say no attacks. End the turn. You may discard a card. All right, opponent literally has 4 cards in graveyard. I don't think he can attack through. I mean, I guess he could have another one of these. Maybe shouldn't have stationed right away. I should have actually saved. It doesn't matter. I don't think he'll be able to attack through. Return it to your hand. What's he returning? Yeah, so no way. These are 2 dead cards for him. He can't play them. 34. And we can actually play another River Regent next turn and crew up. So we have 40 damage next turn with all of these. 3. I think we have more than 40 damage. This one doesn't make us lose life, right? No, you gain 1 life. I don't think he really has a way of draining us out. Do any of these... You gain 3 life. The Ooze gains life and counters. Insidious Roots doesn't help you. What does the Molt Tender do? No. Overlord doesn't do it. Ketramos is annoying, but he will have Summoning Sickness, and the Soul Cauldron also doesn't do it for him. I think we'll be able to get the opponent. Return something... I guess he brings back Awaken the Honored Dead. But then he doesn't have enough mana to play this one. Can we see what he's hovering over? We'll just... He brings back Roots. I think we got him next turn. Like I said, we have 40 damage in the air, and these do all have Trample, and we can bounce this one. Yes. Man, that got so close. And yeah, that one turn, I bungled it so hard, guys. I think you can auto-stack the triggers where you deal 4 damage to everything on board first, and we had 3 of them entering. So we were dealing 12 damage to the board, and then we should have the Overlords enter. So yeah, we kind of messed that up, but we have enough to hit them with the River's Rebuke, which is 6 mana. And then we have enough to play this River Regent, so we can bounce 2 things. Not that we want to do that, but... Well, wait, did I just mess it up now as well? We can station and station. That's 30 damage. Nah, yeah, we got him. Look, because, yeah, we stationed this one. We station this River Regent. We play this one out. We can go ahead and bounce these 2 back to our hand, so he doesn't have any hasty creatures. And then we can station this one up, and that is a fat 40 damage. Let's absolutely go. That was a good game. All right, guys, opponent goes first. I think this hand's a little bit too slow, so we will take a mulligan. Did find the cheering crowd, and we have Extinguisher Battleship, so I can dig it. I can dig it. Opponent on an Azorius control deck, most likely, so might be a little bit difficult to resolve some of our expensive spells, so let's see if we can pull it off. I think turn 1 we can go Breeding Pool, and it can enter tapped. I don't know how useful River's Rebuke will be. But yeah, we'll go Cheering Crowd next turn. Ooh, with the Wonderweave Aerialist. Well, I mean, we do have to try it. River's Rebuke could help us out, but they are the enchantment deck, so if he plays a Sheltered by Ghosts, I think that's kind of just a blowout for us. But let's see, we can get down the Ancient Cornucopia next turn. Opponent does choose to put a counter on this creature. And you guys already know, they always, always, always have Sheltered by Ghosts. Opponent is thinking about it. We can add 2 mana next turn. That's only 5. Opponent does shock that one in, so they have 4 mana to work with. Seam Rip. Oh, that does suck for us as well. But at least they don't get to put a counter on that creature. Creature can't be blocked and has double strike. That's kind of scary. I guess no, never mind. Yeah, we'll get down another cheering crowd. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe if he doesn't remove our creature this time, we could hit them with the River's Rebuke. And like I said, guys, they literally always have Sheltered by Ghosts. That is just a given. All right, let's see. We will be up to... We get this one down for sure, and we go Ancient Cornucopia. So next turn we have River's Rebuke. I don't know if that's good enough, though, because they can't just redeploy all these creatures. And we just return everything back to their hands, so they will get Sheltered by Ghosts and everything else back. And let's see, we're taking 5 damage right now. Opponent with the Enduring Innocence, so this I can actually live with. And yeah, hit them with the Fat River's Rebuke. Do gain 1 life for that. Do get both of our creatures back, but he probably just removes both of them this turn. He'll be able to add 2 extra mana for himself as well. So he'll be up to 5, plus his land drop is 6 mana. And then, yeah, you just play Seam Rip, another creature, and Sheltered by Ghost. So he is able to remove these 2, which is... This honestly is a little bit of a problem of this deck, is if the opponents are able to just remove this creature right away. But, Sheltered by Ghost, okay. So we at least have one of these creatures. I think we can hit them with the Extinguisher Battleship. So for sure, we'll take action right there. Here comes the Forest, and here comes the Extinguisher Battleship. We will go ahead and blow up this dual land. And we get our creature back. Probably does get hit by Seam Rip, but we can at least start to crew this guy. And he still has a... No, we got rid of the Sheltered by Ghost, which is nice. And yeah, opponent probably... I don't know how useful Seam Rip is for them now. I mean, we have so much mana. Now we just need to find some of our bigger creatures. Opponent missing land drops, but I mean, this deck doesn't really play anything more expensive than 3 mana, and that was too much for the opponent to deal with. So yeah, the River's Rebuke coming in super clutch, and yeah, just being able to wipe. It was only just 1 creature, but yeah, that was too much for the opponent, and destroying a land. Maybe they missed a land drop, which would feel bad for them, but... I mean, this guy is adding some mana for them, so opponent, you should be able to make it work. And we're down to 9 life, and you're up to 24. GG. All right, guys, opponent goes first. We do have the Extinguisher Battleship and Ancient Cornucopia to help us ramp a little bit, maybe into River's Rebuke. That has definitely saved us before, so I will try it. I will try it out. Hedron Archive, also really nice draw. And opponents, I think, looking to just dome us with a bunch of lands. So hopefully the Ancient Cornucopia can help us gain some life, which will be quite nice. There's a normal land. Esper Origin. So maybe looking to do some graveyard stuff. Throw a bunch of these lands in the graveyard that can dome you for 1. And then bring all lands back from the graveyard. With Lumra, I think that creature is called. But yeah, for now we get Ancient Cornucopia down. And then... 5. I think next turn we go Fountainport, Hedron Archive, into another Ancient Cornucopia. Hopefully no counter spells from the opponent, but he hasn't done anything all game, so I think he is sitting on quite a few counter spells. Oh, he has some Heritage Reclamation. That is crazy. We will float some mana because then we can... still play out this Ancient Cornucopia thanks to the 2 mana from Hedron Archive. And you know what we could do? If we could work our way up to a really, really big Doppelgang, we could copy a lot of his lands. Make 3 copies of this one, and this one. Yeah? We do need to maybe do some damage to the opponent first, though. Oh, he's just bringing that one back. That is pretty lame. How much enchantment removal? I'm surprised he... I guess he really doesn't want us gaining life, because I'm pretty sure he does want to pull a bunch of those back. We did find a Doppelgang, which is really nice, so I think we just go with a Marang River Regent on the opponent's turn just to draw a bunch of cards. And then, honestly, we could go for a Doppelgang. If we find a land, we could do this for X equals 2. Could maybe make 2 copies of the Hedron Archive. And maybe some copies of this guy's lands, just to start pinging him out. That would be funny if we could finish him off that way. And we might need to go kind of quickly. Discard a card. We'll get rid of this one. And then we do need to find another Doppelgang. Could go with the River Regent. Just to bounce that guy. Let's do that. I don't want to be taking 4 damage. So we'll bounce this one. And then we could swing in for 6 next turn. Does he have a kill spell? Does he have a kill spell? And yeah, part of me does really want to go... Maybe we'll get the Extinguisher Battleship next turn. Take him off a land. And does he just go Esper Origins into Esper Origins? Ooh, Shamil, that's a really good hit for him. We could blow that one up, though, with the Extinguisher Battleship. I think we'll do that. I don't really care about that one, and he will be taking 6 damage. So yeah, here comes Extinguisher Battleship. Go ahead and destroy Shamil. That's too good of a card for you. Get rid of your Otter, and then we can smack you for a big 6 damage. We do have River's Rebuke as well. 2, let's see, 3. We do need 2 more lands, and then we could do this for X equals 3, I believe. Esper Origins. Honestly, I might just do this for X equals 2. Make 2 copies of the Hedron Archive and 2 copies of this Extinguisher Battleship. We would lose our Marang River Regent, but then we could destroy 2 lands. And I think that would hurt him quite a bit. That would hurt him quite a bit. Ooh, and there's the other Doppelgang. So yeah, 100% we're doing it like that. Oh, I should have crewed up with this one, because then we could deal 10 damage. But maybe he has a Into the Flood Maw. That's 6 damage right there. I mean, we're just going to do it. X equals 2. Make 2 copies of this one and 2 copies of this one. Are you countering this, my friend? I haven't seen any counter spells yet. He's going to return that one. That is an instant speed. Good on the opponent. That is a nice combo. Which one are you removing, though? Hedron Archive will give us a ton of mana to work with. He does get rid of that one. We can't station. All right. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and blow up. Let's see if we get rid of... This one adds white. Green. Let's honestly get rid of his white sources. Even though I don't know why he plays white, actually. So maybe green would have been better. But, whatever. We took him off 2 lands, and we still have another Doppelgang coming up. If we find another land, we could still do it for 2. Can hit him with the River's Rebuke. Can also get down a River Regent and then crew up. But, I mean, I'm just so worried. Ooh, he's milling us. That's equal to your life total. So 14, that is quite a bit. Storm Chaser's Talent. All right, we can at least bounce that Otter and then crew up and then deal 10 damage to him. So that's what we're doing. Here comes the River Regent. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? We're going to bounce this Extinguisher Battleship back to our hand just so he knows we have that one. Opponent does have 1 mana. Is it a Into the Flood Maw? I'm not sure, but we will 100% crew up with this. I think it is an Into the Flood Maw. Aye, aye, aye. All right, well, he literally has just one card in hand. He gets to draw for turn. I guess he can return something back to his hand. Aye, 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 opponent. So he's going to level this one up for 4 mana. And then he has 2 mana to work with. Could be the Heritage Reclamation. Ooh, Ancient Cornucopia is a good draw for him, but you don't have enough mana. No, you do. You do have enough mana to play the Esper Origins. But you're taking 10 damage next turn. You are choosing to play that one. You will gain quite a bit of life. But we're attacking for 16 damage, so I think we got the opponent. He's at 17. Well, does he get a... No, he gets to do nothing. That one pings us for 1. We're down to 14. So yeah, here comes the River Regent. Here comes the River Regent, and then we're bouncing that one for sure, even though you do gain 2 life, and we'll bounce the Ancient Cornucopia, and then we'll station this one up, and then we'll attack with both these guys. So opponent is down to 1 HP, and next turn we're going to go for a Doppelgang on all these lands that ping you for 1 damage, and I think that's how we'll choose to get this opponent. Since he was choosing to destroy all of our enchantments and stuff, let's see if he has any land destruction. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, we do need to draw a land. Because right now we can only do this for X equals 1, and he is gaining 2 life, so he's up to 3. Reveal a card, ping us for 1. I don't think you have a way of giving your creatures haste, and that one does come in tapped, and yeah, opponent scoops it up, so GG, buddy. Alright guys, we gotta go first. I will keep this hand because hopefully these 2 Hedron Archives can let us go for a fat Doppelgang, and who knows, maybe the opponent plays some creatures that we would like to make multiple copies of. So, yeah, turn 3 Hedron Archive. Ooh, this was maybe the best card we could have hit right now, and yeah, we'll go ahead and punch the opponent for 1, show them who's boss. Let's see if the opponent takes this nice offer from the cheering crowd. They're cheering them on. Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, opponent declines that. Wow, he doesn't need the mana. He says, nah, thank you. He's just going to kill this creature right away. Which, if that's what you choose to do, you should have maybe put a counter on it. Even though in green-blue, are any kill spells? Ooh, Innkeeper's Talent. Interesting. I, for sure, will take that action. We'll get this one down. And then we can get Hedron Archive down, and then we can get down another elf, and then we can punch in for 3. Does the opponent take the offer? No, he doesn't. He does not like this offer that we have going on. That gets +4. Ooh, Extinguisher Battleship. I think we're going to wait 1 turn. We could get this down, but then we do lose this creature, so I think we'll just go with a Hedron Archive, and we are just going to pass the turn. Well, with Innkeeper's Talent, he might choose to put a counter on that creature, so then it would grow out of range of the Extinguisher Battleship. I think he might be playing Ouroboros. Man, we're going to make so many copies of Ouroboros. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome, guys. Yeah, that's fine, buddy. You have a 6/6. Good for you. Good for you. It's going into our turn. Wish we hit a land, but I will take action right there. That's 3, so that's a free one right there. How can we do this for 4? A copy of this one, this one, this one, and... pay 2 life, don't want to do that. Honestly, maybe just another Hedron Archive. We don't have the mana. All right, so we can do it for 3. So we'll make 3 copies of Innkeeper's Talent, Ouroboros, and I guess Hedron Archive. Nah, we want more creatures because he is going wide, but we're also going to go wide. So 3 copies of you, you, and you. Yeah, so thanks for your creatures, buddy. I do appreciate it. We can get down another Llanowar Elf. And then, yeah, I will put a counter on you. I'll put a counter on you. And I'll put a counter on you. Ooh, you absolutely love to see it. GG, my friend. I don't see how you come back from that. So, yeah, thanks for your creatures. That's literally all I can say. And, yeah, when the opponents don't remove this creature, and he can add mana for you. I think he was only adding 3 mana for us because the opponent never took the offer. If the opponent did, I think we would have been able to go for a Doppelgang for 1 more as well. So then we could have made 1 more copy of, yeah, I guess a Hedron Archive, because then yeah, we would have 4 Ouroboros, 4 Innkeeper's Talent, 4 of this little raccoon, and then 4 Hedron Archives. Let's absolutely go. GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. I will keep this hand. And we can get the elf on turn 1. We can impend the Overlord, which will be quite nice. Are we recording? We are. Alright, so let's make the opponent think we're mono green. Might have to ramp quite a bit because this one does get pretty powerful. They're looking to probably play a ton of rabbits. Let's see, 3, 4. This will be 5. 6. We could also bounce with the River Regent. Yeah, an Extinguisher Battleship will be quite nice. We can get this one down. Honestly, we might look to draw some cards with the River Regent. Let's see what the opponent plays. Overlord also ticks down. Opponent with the Crackland, the Fabled Passage. We're going to let that one resolve. And then, so yeah, just mono white from the opponent. Carrot Cake for a little rabbit. Honestly, I'm not too scared of that. Oh, 2 less enters. Target creature gets +1. Well, I mean, this is 4 damage we're taking. Oh, opponent's not attacking with that one. Well, never mind. Still 4 damage we're taking. I think I will look to draw with the River Regent. I will look to draw with the River Regent. River's Rebuke is amazing. Let's absolutely go. We can definitely drop off 1 battleship, get down the Verge, and then hit them with a River's Rebuke. Just kind of reset them a little bit. And then next turn, our Overlord will be online, and we're looking to queue up for a juicy Doppelgang. And when I say juicy, I mean like a copy of 2. So I know you guys have seen way fatter Doppelgangs in the past, but yeah, we'll be able to destroy all his creatures right now, even though it is just 2 of them. So then the question is, oh, we don't even have enough mana for the Extinguisher Battleship, so maybe we'll look to create a treasure token. Maybe we'll look to create a treasure token with the Fountainport, and then we can go with the Extinguisher Battleship. That'll probably clear the board. We do lose our elf, but that's fine. Opponent, creature can't attack or block, but you can still station it up, so that I don't really care about. And I mean, the Extinguisher Battleship can actually blow that one up as well, but we might look to blow up some lands, and let's go ahead and create the treasure token. Let's go ahead and create the treasure token. Opponent attacks in, gains +2. We do need the elf, so that is fine. Another River Regent is a great draw for us. And yeah, here comes the Extinguisher Battleship. And as nice as it would be to blow up a land, I kind of want my Overlord back. So thank you very much. Oh, we could have played a land. That's fine. And then we will attack with this Overlord, create the land token, and then we can do Doppelgang for X equals 2, so we could make 2 copies of this Extinguisher Battleship and 2 copies of our Overlord, even though he would get blown up, because then that's 8 damage. Destroy target creature. Okay, that's fine, because we have another one. But we could also do this for 3. You know what? Yeah, we're just going to start impending this guy. We'll look to coil and catch on the opponent's turn. We'll look to coil and catch, and then next turn we might go with Extinguisher Battleship, just blow up the board, blow up some lands, and then go for a fat Doppelgang. I think that's what our plan is, and I don't think the opponent can really come back from that. It does look like he is a fully budget deck, except for that crack land. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve that one, and then we will go for a draw 3. And we can drop off Breeding Pool. Don't need that one. Another Doppelgang is quite nice, but yeah, let's go with Extinguisher Battleship. Before we do that, we'll get the Ancient Cornucopia. Hello, Momo. Destroy my chair while you're at it. Can you guys see her? I'm going to switch, see if you guys can see her. You can. Her booty's right in my face. There she is. Momo! Momo! Psst, 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 psst. There she is. Momo in all her glory. Let's see. 3, 2, 3 right there. 3 right there. So, yeah. I'm sorry, opponent, but we're doing this for x equals 3. We'll make 3 copies of this one, 3 copies of this one, and I guess 3 copies of the Cornucopia. Could do the Overlord, but I mean, yeah, he's just going to get blown up because all of these things enter at the same time. You can't auto-stack the triggers, so... but yeah, opponent's going to have 0 lands to work with. All his creatures are gone. I think we could even destroy the Carrot Cake as well. And then in a turn or 2, this Overlord would come online, and then we could start crewing. You know, next turn we could even just create a ton of copies of this Overlord and, yeah, maybe make a fish token, make a bunch of copies of the fish token. So, yeah, this opponent just got absolutely fried. GG. All right, opponent gets to go first. I will try this hand. We can get the Elf on turn 1. Maybe we could work our way up to the Hedron Archive, and that will give us quite a bit of mana. So then we could bounce everything, and then we could go for a Doppelgang. Hopefully we find some nice creatures. Opponent's on some Gruul action, the Leyline Weaver. So yeah, we have a Hedron Archive next turn, which is really nice. And then we could maybe go another Hedron Archive. That would be a lot of mana for a Doppelgang. I can dig it. Ooh, opponent. Ooh, Lumbering World Wagon's a really good draw for them. They get to find some extra lands, but that could be a nice target for us. Opponent attacks in, as they should. No blocks from us. Another Doppelgang, really not what we're looking for. So let's think about this. 2 mana there. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. Minus 2 is 5. So we can only do this for 1 right now. So I think next turn might be a River's Rebuke, just to kind of reset them a little bit. Oh, and he will get to attack with the Lumbering World Wagon. So yeah, it's definitely a River's Rebuke from us. Yeah, this will be a juicy River's Rebuke, even though we are taking 7 damage. So we'll be down to 11. Opponent, I think he should have crewed up. Wow, I'm not sure what the opponent's doing. A little bit strange. Let's see if I do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, that'll only be 5. So yeah, we'll go with the River's Rebuke. Just go ahead and reset everything. Nice little reset. And then we'll drop this one down. It can enter tap, so we don't need to take any damage for that. And yeah, I'm really happy that he didn't attack last turn. So then from us, do we go Hedron Archive? If he plays the Lumbering World Wagon, let's see, 3 right there. So yeah, now we can do this for 2. He does go with the Lumbering World Wagon. I think we will go ahead and copy it. We'll make 2 copies of the Lumbering World Wagon so we can find 2 more lands, and we can make 2 copies of the Hedron Archive. So then we'll have a ton of mana for our next. Ooh, but the Extinguisher Battleship is also really nice, so let's actually go with that one. Blow up your Lumbering World Wagon, because I definitely don't want you replaying that. And then I think I'm still going to do it. We're going to go for a Doppelgang on the Hedron Archive. Well, we can only do it for 1 right now. Well, we get down another Hedron Archive. And that's 2. Well, if we find a land, we still could do this for 2. So we can make 2 copies of this Hedron Archive and then 2 copies of the Extinguisher Battleship. Blow up 2 lands of his. Maybe blow up another Lumbering World Wagon. Because, I mean, this one really can start to dish out a ton of damage. And he's probably going to play the Leyline. So, yeah, we need to hope to hit a land drop. Ooh. 3, 4, 5. Get this one down. Can still do it for 1. Honestly, I think we do it. I really don't want him having the Lumbering World Wagon. That thing can deal so much damage. We do gain 2 life, which is nice. And we can go ahead and blow up this one and wipe the board again. So now we have 2 Extinguisher Battleships. Hedron Archive, I think, is what we'll prioritize getting down. Yeah, now we can do Doppelgang for 2, so we could make 2 copies of these 2. So then that's 4 Extinguisher Battleships entering. Maybe we do that, and then we can blow up 4 lands. But if we wait 1 turn, might be able to make 3 copies of all of them and blow up all his lands. That's what we're going to go for. We're here for some memes today. The Cactor Folk. Draw a card. Ooh, it gains haste and trample. 16. We did find the land. Let's see, 3 plus 3. Yeah, we can do this for 2. Oh, guys, as sad as it is, I'm just worried. At the beginning of combat, other creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain haste. So if he just plays 2 more creatures next turn, 2, he has 6 mana. Yeah, as sad as it is, I think we have to do this right now. We'll do this for 2. We'll make 2 copies of this Extinguisher Battleship and 2 copies of this one. So we will gain 2 life. Gonna go ahead and deal a bunch of damage to the board, and it looks like he's actually playing with a lot of green creatures, so we'll go ahead and destroy all his green, and we'll take away blue as well, and we're dealing 16 damage to all creatures on board. So yeah, destroyed 4 lands that turn. And look at this, we have 6 Extinguisher Battleships. No creatures to crew them with. We might honestly crack the Hedron Archive to draw 2. We need to find our River Regent so that we can start crewing these. And yeah, I think taking the green mana and blue mana was a little bit important. I cannot believe it. All right. All right, all right. We'll definitely go with a Doppelgang. And yeah, I think we just pass for right now. Might want to draw 2 cards, but we might do that on the opponent's turn. Let's see, 3 plus 3. Again, we could make 2 copies of everything. If we find a land, then we can make 3 copies of everything. Opponent's going to plot that Trailblazer again. Honestly, I'm going to draw some cards. We do need a little bit of card draw. And we find just another Hedron Archive. We found the Cheering Crowd. That will give them some mana, which they might want. Yeah, we'll go ahead and gain some life for that. Ooh, the 2 colors in that one actually let us gain 2 life, which is quite nice. We can go with Hedron Archive. And then we will just start crewing this guy. And, I mean, yeah, next turn we have a juicy Doppelgang, because he probably will choose to add some mana. Probably play the Trailblazer, so he gets 1 mana from that as well. But yeah, we're just going to absolutely destroy all his lands. Deals 2 damage to each creature. Okay. I don't get why he didn't take the mana from that one. Oh, because then maybe he wouldn't have been able to deal 2 damage to it. I mean, sure. If that's all you're doing, I can live with that. I can 100% live with this, buddy. Because I think you're still looking for some lands. Add 1 mana. That's fine. We're at 20 life, so I'm really not worried. Let's see. 3 plus 3 there. That's still only 2. We did find another one of these guys, so let's go ahead and play him. Do get to gain some life for that. And I'm... Oh, wait. Why didn't I station this one earlier? All right, well, we'll go ahead and end the turn. I should have stationed earlier, because then I could have attacked for 10. But at the same time, maybe destroying all his lands would be really funny. Untapped permanent. So if he taps that one, that's another mana. The Hunter's Talent to fight. Oh, stationing is only at sorcery speed? Man. Alright, this opponent is pretty annoying. This opponent is pretty annoying. I think we're just going to draw 2 cards. I really don't think we need to make 3 copies of all these Extinguisher Battleships. just because we're blowing up 4 lands right now. He's probably going to search for a land right now because he has missed a land drop, so we really don't need this Hedron Archive. River's Rebuke is also kind of nice, but we're basically destroying everything on board. We're basically destroying everything on board. Opponent's going to have literally no lands. If he misses a land drop off stock up, what does Hunter's Talent do? Whenever you attack, if you control a creature with 4 or greater. I mean, we've won this, guys. I know we have. We just need to find our River Regent, and then we can start crewing up these guys. And then we still have 1 Doppelgang in our deck. Opponent does go for some Scry action. So, yeah, we'll just do this for 2, because that's all we can do it for. And we'll make 2 copies of this battleship and 2 copies of this battleship. We'll go ahead and gain 2 life, so we're up to 24. How about you lose all your creatures? And I've heard that you need lands to be able to play a game of Magic, so I don't think this guy is too happy. But yeah, pop, 1 land gone, creatures gone, another land gone, another one, and we can get a little elf down. And then next turn, we will have this guy fully crewed up. He just has a crew cost of 5, which really isn't that much. So yeah, don't think the opponent can kill our elf with just 1 mana. Let's actually see. He did have, where is it? Fire magic. Yeah, for 1 red mana, deal 1. So he could have removed our elf if he hit a red land. But assuming that he doesn't, we would crew this one up, and then we have a flying, trampling 10-10. And guys, look at this. We have 10 Extinguisher Battleships on the battlefield. Did we destroy 10 lands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we destroyed 8 lands. Yeah, because we destroyed some of his Lumbering World Wagons. So yeah, 8 lands destroyed in a game of Standard. Let's absolutely go. GG. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the post-game wrap. Today we looked at a land destruction deck, which is probably the most toxic thing that you can do in Magic, is destroying the opponent's lands. In Standard, it is kind of hard to pull it off, but with the deck that we have today, it is possible, and that's thanks to Extinguisher Battleship. For 8 mana, destroy basically a non-target creature. You probably want to destroy lands with that, and then it deals 4 damage to each creature on the board, so it's kind of like a small board wipe. Of course, if the creatures have more than 4 toughness, they do survive, and then you can blow up a land. 8 mana does, of course, cost quite a bit, but we saw with the deck that we have today, we have a really nice ramp package with Hedron Archive, but really the main creature that, I don't want to say ties the deck together, because I think in quite a few of the games we actually didn't have Cheering Crowd, or when we did have the Cheering Crowd, the opponents either killed this creature with removal spells or took it away with like Sheltered by Ghosts and stuff like that. But if this creature does stay on the battlefield for 2 mana, it's a 2/2, but then every turn, when it's our turn at least, we definitely put a counter on it, and you get to add colorless mana for however many counters are on there. But the opponent also gets this effect where they can choose to add a counter to this creature, and then they will get that colorless mana, at least for the first main phase. If they pass through without realizing it, then they do lose that mana, but it does help your opponent ramp a little bit, but it also helps us ramp quite a bit as well. And on our top end, I mean, the Extinguisher Battleship being a board wipe and land destruction is quite nice. River's Rebuke, just to kind of reset the board, can slow the opponent down quite a bit. Ramping into Hedron Archive early is really nice. Ramping into a River Regent early is quite nice. So yeah, the deck is a lot of fun. And if it does go a little bit later, which we saw in one of the games, I think the opponent never chose to take the extra mana. And I think for us it was up to 3, so I added 3 floating mana, which was a free pip in the Doppelgang. I think we were able to create quite a few copies of the Extinguisher Battleship and just absolutely destroy all of their lands, which is, it is really funny when you pull it off. It is really toxic to do that, I will be the first to admit that, but it is really nice that we have some land destruction in Standard. And yeah, I think you guys saw from the games that the deck, it is definitely more on the meme side. You will get run over if the opponent is really aggressive and you have a little bit of a slower start, but yeah, overall, really, really fun deck. So if you guys do have the wild cards, I would recommend crafting it. And yeah, I've been yapping long enough. If you guys made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing. That does help me out a lot. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up and any comments down below of what your favorite game was, or of any decks that you'd like to see me play in the future. But yeah, I'm just going to end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.